Hello, my name is Dustin McCrory. I'm a STEM teacher at Santa Middle School in Ascension Parish, Louisiana, and a PhD student at LSU where my work focuses on STEM education and critical digital literacy. This week, I'm looking at one of the most urgent issues in education technology right now: how schools are responding to artificial intelligence. AI has moved well beyond the classroom tool conversation, becoming a policy issue, an ethics issue, a literacy issue, and a leadership issue. And most institutions are still figuring out what that means in practice. To work through that question, I'll be using two UNESCO competency frameworks, one for teachers, one for students, along with the AI for K-12 5 Big Ideas to build an analytical lens. Then I'll apply that lens to Louisiana's state-level AI guidance to ask, how does this document build AI literacy, or does it mainly manage risk? And what does responsible AI leadership look like from where I'm standing, at the building level, where guidance documents meet actual classrooms? So what should teachers actually know and be able to do when it comes to AI? That's the question UNESCO's AI competency framework for teachers is trying to answer. And it's the same question we should be asking of any policy that claims to support responsible AI use in schools. The framework organizes teacher competency into 5 dimensions. The first is human-centered values and how teachers think about the relationship between AI and human agency. The second is ethics. That is understanding the principles, laws, and responsibilities that govern safe and responsible AI use. The third is AI foundations, the conceptual knowledge teachers need to understand what AI actually is, how it works, and what its limitations are. The fourth is AI pedagogy, such as knowing when and how to integrate AI meaningfully into teaching and learning. And the fifth is professional development by using AI to support teachers' own continued growth. What makes this framework useful as a leadership lens is that it maps each dimension onto a progression of 3 levels: acquire, deepen, and create. Take AI pedagogy as an example. At the acquire level, a teacher learns to identify where AI tools might support lesson planning or assessment. At the deepen level, they're integrating AI into genuinely student-centered teaching practices. And at the create level, they're transforming their pedagogy by critically assessing how AI is reshaping the learning environment itself and designing accordingly. The same developmental logic runs through all 5 dimensions. A teacher at the create level isn't just using AI responsibly. They're championing ethical AI use, contributing to professional learning communities, and actively participating in shaping how AI gets used in their institution. UNESCO published a companion framework specifically for students, organizing student AI competency around 4 dimensions: a human-centered mindset, ethics, AI techniques and applications, and AI system design. Importantly, it envisions students transcending users of AI to become responsible citizens and potential co-creators of AI systems. That's a significantly higher bar than most school policies are currently aiming for. A third lens comes from AI for K-12, a widely used K-12 framework that treats AI as a curriculum topic rather than just a productivity tool. Its 5 big ideas are perception, representation and reasoning, learning, natural interaction, and societal impact. What matters for our purposes is the question it implicitly asks of any school policy: are students learning about AI or only learning to use it? So taken together, these 3 frameworks give us a clear evaluative question to bring to Louisiana's guidance. What should teachers and students know and be able to do? Not just what tools should they use, not just what rules should they follow, but what do they actually need to understand about AI to participate fully and critically in a world shaped by it? That's the standard. Now let's look at how Louisiana measures up. Louisiana's AI guidance document is honestly worth acknowledging as a genuine effort. Compared to many states, it shows real thoughtfulness, and that matters in a policy landscape where a lot of guidance amounts to little more than "don't let students cheat." The document is organized around 5 guiding principles: data privacy and security, ethical considerations, student-centered learning, transparency and explainability, and professional development. These map reasonably well onto the UNESCO framework's dimensions, which is encouraging. And the transparency principle in particular goes further than simple disclosure. It says educators and students should understand how AI decisions are made, which gestures toward literacy rather than just compliance. The document's most impressive feature is its use of the SAMR model to scaffold AI integration. It moves teachers and students through 4 levels, from AI prohibited environments all the way to AI empowered learning, using the memorable image of moving from a rowboat to a submarine. That developmental progression mirrors the acquire, deepen, create arc we saw in the UNESCO framework, even if it doesn't use that language. It treats AI integration as a journey, not a switch you flip. But here's where the document starts to show its limits. First, the structure itself tells a story. Challenges and plagiarism mitigation come before integration and instruction. The document is organized around risk management first and learning second, which reflects a protective instinct that is understandable but ultimately constraining. A document built around fear of what AI might do to education is a different thing than one built around a vision of what AI literate educators and students might accomplish. Second, the student-centered framing, while well-intentioned, quietly sidelines teachers as human agents. In the UNESCO framework, human-centered values are foundational, precisely because AI affects everyone in the educational community, from teachers to students and families, even the broader public. Louisiana narrows that to students, which means teachers appear in the document primarily as recipients of training and implementers of policy, not as professionals in their own rights, needs, and agency in relation to AI. Third, and most critically, the SAMR model treats AI as a more sophisticated version of existing classroom technology. But AI isn't just a better projector or a smarter search engine. It's stochastic. It generates content. It makes decisions in ways that aren't always explainable, even when we ask it to explain itself. The AI 4K12 framework's 5 big ideas: perception, representation and reasoning, learning, natural interaction, and societal impact point toward a kind of foundational AI literacy that goes beyond integration levels. UNESCO's companion framework for students reinforces this point, organizing student AI competency around 4 dimensions: human-centered mindset, ethics, AI techniques and application, and AI systems design. Importantly, it envisions students transcending users of AI to become responsible citizens and potential co-creators of AI systems. Louisiana's document doesn't really address whether students are learning about AI, only whether and how they're using it. Finally, at the end of the document, there's a link to a dashboard of more than 50 resources compiled by the Louisiana Association of Computer Using Educators. These provide lesson plans, ethics resources, policy templates, neural network explainers. It is a genuinely useful collection. But a library of links is not a professional development program. It's not funding, it's not staffing, it's not time. And it places the full weight of implementation on individual teachers, which in Louisiana is par for the course. Accountability in this system tends to flow downward. Support rarely follows. That's the core problem. Louisiana has produced a thoughtful document, but thoughtful documents don't teach classes. Teachers do. And until the system treats teachers as the human agents at the center of this work, and not just the tools through which policy gets delivered, the gap between guidance and practice will remain. So where does that leave us as leaders? Louisiana has produced a guidance document worth respecting, But respect isn't implementation, and a document without curriculum mandates, funding mechanisms, or accountability structures is ultimately a statement of intent. And statements of intent don't close the gap between what we know students need and what they're actually getting. The Brazilian educator Paulo Freire argued that education is never neutral. It either domesticates or it liberates. It either positions learners as passive recipients of knowledge, what Freire called the banking model, or it positions them as active critical agents of their own understanding in the world. That choice doesn't disappear when the subject is artificial intelligence. Right now, most students encounter AI the way Louisiana's document frames it, as a tool to be used responsibly, a risk to be managed, a resource to be leveraged. And that's important to recognize. But it stops well short of what the UNESCO frameworks and the AI for K-12 5 big ideas are pointing toward. Students who understand how AI works, who can interrogate its decisions, who recognize its societal impacts, and who see themselves as agents in shaping how it develops, not just consumers of whatever the technology industry produces. My position is straightforward. AI literacy needs to be a curricular requirement at every grade level. I don't mean a unit embedded in an English class, nor a module tucked into a technology elective. I believe in a structured, sequential, mandatory strand of learning that runs from kindergarten through 12th grade. Think of it the way we think about physical education. We require PE not because every student is going to become an athlete, but because physical literacy matters for everyone, regardless of where life takes them. AI literacy is no different. Every student who graduates from a Louisiana public school will live and work in a world shaped by artificial intelligence. They deserve to understand it as much as they deserve to use it. The work starts at the state level with curriculum mandates and funding. It starts at the district level with proactive policies that are publicly available. It starts at the building level right now with leaders who are willing to ask hard questions of the guidance they've been given and to advocate loudly for the conditions their teachers and students actually need. That's the work. Let's do it.